Good morning, readers. I want you to do something for me. I want you to find a scratch piece of paper, and I want you to rate how you feel about reading. I want you to give it 10 stars if it's the best thing, and you can't even imagine not doing it. Then it would be maybe 10 stars. And if you really, really don't like to read, and you only do it when you're forced to, you might give it 1 star. But you might be somewhere in between there. You're probably, most likely, most people are somewhere in between 10 and 1. So go ahead and rate how you feel about reading right now on a piece of paper. I bet most of you, if you were honest, didn't rate reading as a 10. And so I want to give you some tips on how to maybe make reading a 10 for you this year. So today I'm going to teach you something you probably already know. That some books are great books, and some books are just so-so. And what I want to do is I want to teach you some ways to pick out great books so that reading becomes a 10 for you. So there are two different things when you're thinking about books, about what you should do. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you pick out books that you're interested in, books that you're going to enjoy, books that you're going to love the story and really get into. That's the most important. The second thing is you want to make sure that the book is not too hard and not too easy. If it's too hard, you're not going to be able to read the words, and you're going to get frustrated, and that's no fun. If it's too easy, it's not going to have enough in it to keep your interest. So I'm going to show you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you might go to the library, and you might look at some books, and you might try to think about what you're going to do as far as which books you might be interested in, which ones you might not. So this is my pile of books I got from the library. And the first one I'm looking at is called The Thief of Always. And if you look at The Thief of Always here, you'll notice that it's kind of like a dark book. It's not my kind of book. Mr. Hood's holiday house has stood for thousands of years, welcoming countless children into its embrace. It's a place of miracles where every childhood whim may be satisfied. There's a price to be paid, of course, but young Harvey Sweck, bored with his life, wants to go to Mr. Hood's wonders. Well, it's interesting to think that they can just have whatever they want and it's miracles, but I just don't think it's the book for me. He said there's a price to pay, and that seems kind of scary, and that's just not the kind of book I like, so I'm going to put it in this pile. The next book I picked out to look at is Wish, and just from the front I can tell I'm probably going to like this book. There's a picture of a girl and a dog, and I love books about dogs. So let's read the back of it. When she was sent to live with a family she barely knows, it seems unlikely that her wish will ever come true. That is, until she meets Wishbone, a skinny stray dog who captures her heart. So I'm already going to tell you this is my kind of book. I love books like this. I'm going to put this in this pile. The next one I picked is Hatchet. And I know lots of people love Hatchet. As you can see on the front, it's got a hatchet, and there's like woods. And it's about Brian. I look at the back. 13-year-old Brian is on his way to visit his father when the single-engine plane in which he is flying crashes. Suddenly, Brian finds himself alone in the Canadian wilderness with nothing but a tattered windbreaker and a hatchet. This probably really, my husband would love this book because he loves the outdoors, but it's just not my kind of thing. And right now I'm trying to pick books that's going to make reading a 10, and so this isn't it. The next one I put is Out of My Mind. And I think it's a really pretty book, and sometimes I pick books because they're pretty. I know, you probably shouldn't, and it's got a fish, and I like the title, Out of My Mind. So it says, words have always swirled around me like snowflakes, each one delicate and different, each one melting untouched in my hands. Deep within me, worlds pile up in huge drifts, mountains of phrases and sentences and connected idea, clever expressions, jokes, love songs, but only in my head. I have never spoken one single word. I am almost 11 years old. Now I'm going to tell you something about me. This is the kind of book I like, where there's a big struggle, and it seems like this character is just stuck in her mind. She can't talk, which would be horrible. So I really think that I'm going to like this book. And then the last one I have is the one and only Ivan. And I know that I love Catherine Applegate books, so that in itself is going to help me know that this might be a book for me. But I also like animals. It says, Ivan is an easygoing gorilla living in a shopping mall. He has grown accustomed to humans watching him through the glass walls of his domain. He rarely misses his life in the jungle. In fact, he hardly ever thinks about it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the keep pile. So what I did was, if you noticed, I took the books that I had, and some of them I just don't think I'll enjoy. So I put them in the I don't want those books right now pile. And then the next one I picked, then I picked 3 that I think that I'm really going to like. So step 2 to picking a really great book is to make sure the books that you're interested in, your pile of, oh, I'm really interested in these books, are books you can read. So the best way for me to do this is just to open to a random page and start reading it. If I get to a word I don't know, I put my finger up. And once I hit 5, I know that book's too hard for me. It does not mean that it's too hard for you forever. It just means right now it might be too hard. So if it is, let's pretend like I was reading this and this book's just too hard for me right now. I really want to read it, so I'm going to put it in my maybe read it later list, but right now it's just too hard, and I want something that's going to be easy to start the year with. This book here, oh, I can read these words, so I definitely want to keep this book. Let's look at Wish. Yeah, I can read these words too. So these 2 books are just right books for me now. So I have a list, and you could probably find more than this. I just wanted to do a short one with you. But these are just right books for me. And so I'm going to pick one of these books to read. So today when I read during silent reading, I'm not only going to make my teacher a list of the books that are on my list, which is The One and Only Ivan and Wish, but I'm going to decide I'm going to read Wish today. And then I can read through it and see if I can get into the story, because it's a book I like and a book I can read. So today when you go off, you're going to try to find some books that you think are just right books for you. I know you're going to look on Storyline Online and in Epic, and you can look other places. Maybe you have some at home. But I want you to spend some time looking to see if you can find some books that are just right books. And you're going to make a list of those. And then you're going to pick one, and you're going to try to read that book for at least 10, maybe 20 minutes. And you're going to really try to get into that book. So that's what I want you to do today. I hope you have a great time reading, and I will talk to you soon.